welcome back to another Film Geek movie review. I'm off work from the old day job today, so it's time to take in a matinee and go see Rental Family. Rental Family is directed by Hikari and it's starring Brendan Fraser. It tells the story of a struggling actor living in Tokyo, a struggling American actor living in Tokyo. And he's not just struggling as an actor, he's also struggling as just a human in general. So he's having a lot of difficulty finding roles, commercials, movies, TV shows, what have you. And so he takes a very strange gig. He has a job that he's going to go into people's homes and be a rental family member for them. Maybe they need a brother, a sister, a father, something like that in their lives, and so this man is going to go provide it. In all honesty, this looks like a super fun, feel-good little family film, and in all honesty, guys, I love feeling good. Okay, I don't know, I think that's not a controversial thing to say. I like feeling good, and this looks like the kind of movie that's going to do it for me. So it's enough of this just sitting here jibber-jabbering on. It is time for me to get out the door because I need to go see Rental Family. Welcome back. Just getting home from Rental Family. And guys, I really enjoyed this movie. This was exactly what I needed. This was a very comforting, sentimental, just a downright good feeling movie that when you walk away from the cinema, you just have a big smile on your face and your heart's all nice and warm. And that's exactly what this film did for me. Now, normally I have negatives and positives, but I don't really have anything necessarily negative to say about this film, but I will say this. Now, I know going into this movie, you might be sitting there thinking, okay, renting a family member, renting a friend, this does not necessarily sound like a very good and healthy way of dealing with things. And yeah, there are points in this film where things like that are brought up, that this is not necessarily maybe the best way to deal with something. Maybe this is just a band-aid for the situation. But then there's also, in some situations, this is something that's very needed and very helpful, and it does help a lot of people. So the idea might sound strange and foreign to you, but when you watch it in the context of Japanese culture and how it's involved in all of that, it makes a lot more sense. And that was something else that I think might confuse a lot of people too going into this, is that there is a lot of things in this film that focus on Japanese culture, social culture, and things of like that in this film. And so you might not be very familiar with a lot of those things, and so they might come off as just a completely foreign and strange idea. So I can definitely see where the idea of renting someone to be a friend or a family member might sound very strange and very unusual. But when you watch it in this film, in all honesty, it really brings things together and it makes a lot of sense. And in some cases, it's extremely endearing and exactly what this person is looking for and what they actually need in that moment. So let's move this into the positives, shall we? The first thing I want to talk about is the performances, or just Brendan Fraser exactly, because he is outstanding in this movie. This is a guy that I just love how he has come back to Hollywood. He was gone for a bit, and what a great, admirable way. Blackballed from the industry for standing up for what was right. And then once the truth starts to come out on what happened to Brendan, well, then the public starts saying, hey, we want some more Brendan Fraser. So what does he do? He comes back into Hollywood, kicks down that freaking door, does an outstanding performance in The Whale, and he does another one here. But the thing about this performance is he went from the intensity and the emotional aggression of The Whale and how that film is to something a little bit more lighthearted, a little bit more sentimental, and yes, a little on the sappy side. But in all honesty, he was phenomenal in this film. It was just so great to be able to see Brendan's range in this film. This is a man that's not just someone who can depend on for a great dramatic performance. He's funny, he's endearing, he's charismatic, and he's everything that this lead needed in this film. So hats off. The story of itself, it's just wonderful. I honestly love the way that this movie made me feel by the end of it. Yes, there are some subject matter that they go into where the whole idea of the rental family, friend, whatever, could be a harmful situation, and I do feel that they handled that in an extremely good way. Also, it shows how this could be extremely useful and something that could really bring a lot of kindness to someone else in need. So I really think that all in all, this movie delivered on a lot of areas when it came to the story and the emotional core of this film. I keep going back on the fact that you all get the warm and fuzzies when you leave this movie, and yes, you will. This is definitely the kind of movie that you sit down with on a nice rainy, chilly day with your big bowl of soup, your crusty bread, a nice warm blanket, and you just sit there and you get taken in by the magic of the movies. The cinematography of this film is also outstanding. There's these really cool, quiet moments of self-reflection that the Brendan Fraser's character does throughout the film. He lives in this high-rise apartment in Tokyo, and when he sits on his patio and he looks out, or deck or whatever, and he looks out on this other building across, and he sits there and he watches other people's lives from a distance. He's sitting there all alone, and he looks in and sees all of these people just living their lives, being happy, just having these normal things. And while he just sits back in his quiet little apartment all by himself and just takes in everyone around him. In those quiet moments with the cinematography, it's just absolutely gorgeous. It honestly reminded me of the movie Rear Window by Albert Hitchcock. That was such a cool movie, and this was kind of the same idea. Now, it's not the whole movie. There's just some moments where you can tell that the character is just sitting there watching the world around him, but not necessarily being a part of it. I thought that was also a really cool thing that they brought into this movie by making Brendan Fraser an American who's not quite, up to date, doesn't really understand the culture 100%. He understands enough to get by, but not enough of the depths and everything. And so it was nice to be able to watch this film through his eyes. I would have to say one of the problems with this film, it's not necessarily a big one, was just that I felt like we could spend a little bit more time with the clients that he had in this movie, because those characters were really great and really well fleshed out and deep characters, and I really wished I could have spent a little bit more time with them. The pacing of this movie is outstanding. The movie clocks in at just over an hour and 40 minutes, and you do not notice this movie. It just flows along smoothly. I thought it was an appropriate runtime, and to be perfectly honest, because the characters were so endearing, I wouldn't have minded another 20 minutes or so, just to see with some more of these characters, the development and the stories of their lives. That's just how real and tangible everything felt in this film. All in all, guys, I would have to say that this was an excellent film to get out there, see in theaters. Definitely go check out the old Wicked, but if you want to just go see a nice little sentimental, tiny little film that's going to warm your heart and make you, make you feel good about things again, this is definitely the movie for you. Get out there, see this film in theaters, support this movie. It's just a little independent film. Do what we can to keep movies like this in cinema. Well, alright guys, thanks again for checking out the Film Geek. If you liked what you saw here today, go ahead and subscribe to the channel, ring that bell for notifications, and give me the old thumbs up so I know you like what you're seeing. And if there's one more thing you could do, folks, that is keep watching movies. You know I'm gonna.